12 songs, one artist, 19 top 10 R&B hits between 1985 and 1992. 10 of them hit number one. You've heard every single one. But when's the last time you heard any of him on the radio? This isn't about an artist who faded. This isn't about someone who stopped making music. This is about what happens when an entire sound gets erased overnight. And if you slow dance to these songs, if you made memories to this voice, you already know exactly what we lost. Number 12, Love Is Just a Touch Away, 1985. Love Is Just a Touch Away, 1985. Freddie Jackson's debut album. And before you even knew his name, this song was already playing at your cousin's wedding reception. It hit number 7 on the R&B charts. Respectable. But here's what the chart position doesn't tell you. This wasn't just another ballad on urban contemporary radio. This was the song that introduced a voice. Smooth, controlled, not gospel raw like the generation before, not overpowering. This was precision. You probably remember the production. Lush keyboards, soft percussion that felt like silk, and that melody. If you've ever slow danced to someone you thought you'd marry, you know exactly what this song sounds like in your memory. But here's the thing about Freddie Jackson's arrival. 1985 was already crowded. Luther Vandross owned ballads. Anita Baker was about to explode. Sade was on every radio station. And Freddie Jackson walked into that moment and claimed his space anyway. Love Is Just a Touch Away wasn't his biggest hit. It wasn't even his biggest hit that year, but it was the entry point, the one that made you pay attention, the one that made you ask, wait, who is this? And if you were listening to Quiet Storm Radio in 1985, late at night when the station dropped the tempo and dimmed the lights through the speakers, you already knew this wasn't just another song. This was a declaration. Someone new had arrived, and he wasn't going anywhere, except he did, and we'll get to why. Number 11, I Don't Want to Lose Your Love, 1986. I Don't Want to Lose Your Love, 1986, just like the First Time album, peaked at number 2 on the R&B charts. Your love and all that we've... Number 2, I know, that sounds like success, and it was, but here's what makes this one different. No. By the time this song dropped, Freddie Jackson had already scored 3 number ones. 3 in less than a year. So when I Don't Want to Lose Your Love stalled at number 2, people noticed. Not because it wasn't good, you've heard it. The vulnerability in his voice, the way the song builds without ever overwhelming you. That's technique, that's control, that's an artist who knows exactly what he's doing. If you've ever had that relationship where you knew it was slipping and you couldn't figure out how to hold on, this song didn't just describe it, this song was it. Every lyric felt like your own internal monologue. Every note felt like the last chance to say what you should have said 6 months ago. Here's what's wild. Nothing else would be better. I Don't Want to Lose Your Love got constant radio play in 1986 and 1987. Quiet Storm rotated it heavy. Wedding DJs kept it in rotation. It was on mixtapes, slow jam compilations, late night romance cassettes sold at beauty supply stores. And then Nothing. When the format shifted in the early 90s, songs like this didn't just get played less, they got removed entirely. You know how that goes? One day it's everywhere. 5 years later, you can't remember the last time you heard it. That's not an accident, that's a decision. And it happened to every single song on this list. Real talk, only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's one coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 10, He'll Never Love You Like I Do, 1985. He'll Never Love You Like I Do, 1985. Rock Me Tonight album. And if you were in a relationship in 1985, this song probably caused an argument. It hit the R&B top 10. You heard it at every house party where the DJ transitioned from up-tempo to slow jams around midnight. You heard it on the car radio driving home from dates that went better than expected. You definitely heard your friend play it after their breakup, insisting this was their anthem. But here's what makes this song culturally specific in a way younger audiences wouldn't recognize. The production. Written by Keith Diamond and Barry Eastman, they understood something about mid-80s R&B that gets lost in nostalgia. It wasn't just about the vocals. It was about space. Listen to He'll Never Love You again. Notice what's not there. No excessive instrumentation, no runs every 4 bars, no vocal acrobatics to prove technical skill. Just Freddie Jackson's voice, sitting in the pocket telling you something you probably didn't want to hear. That your ex isn't treating you the way you deserve, that you know it, that you're staying anyway, and if you're nodding right now, you're not alone. What's interesting about this song is the timing. It came out on Jackson's debut album, his first project, and already he's delivering relationship autopsy reports with surgical precision. Already he's establishing that this isn't pop R&B, this isn't crossover compromise, this is grown folks music for grown folks problems. By 1985, Freddie Jackson had already worked as a backup singer for Melba Moore. He'd done demos. He'd sung lead for a funk band called Mystic Merlin in California. So when he finally got his Capitol Records deal at 29, he wasn't some new discovery. He was ready. And He'll Never Love You proved it. This wasn't a rookie making rookie mistakes. This was a veteran claiming territory. Number 9, Crazy for Me, 1989. Crazy for Me, 1989, Don't Let Love Slip Away album, and by now something had started to shift. It wasn't a massive hit, didn't go number 1, didn't even crack the R&B top 5, but it stayed on the chart for weeks. You know that phenomenon where a song isn't dominant but it's persistent. It's on the radio every time you turn it on. It's at every function. It's playing in the grocery store, the car wash, the waiting room. That was crazy for me. Not spectacular, just there. Always there. Here's what I think about when I hear this song. By 1989, the music industry was starting to fracture. Hip-hop was transitioning from underground to mainstream. Pop radio was getting whiter and more synthesized. And R&B was being pushed into a corner. Either you collaborated with rappers or you got relegated to adult contemporary. Freddie Jackson didn't collaborate with rappers, not because he was opposed to it, but because that wasn't his lane. He was a balladeer, a crooner, a quiet storm specialist, and in 1989, that category was already being phased out. But Crazy for Me proved something important. Even as the industry was shifting, the audience hadn't moved yet. People still wanted this sound, still slow danced to it, still requested it at parties, still bought the albums. If you remember this song, you probably remember where you heard it. Maybe a basement party where somebody's aunt controlled the stereo and refused to play anything after 1990. Maybe late night radio when you couldn't sleep. Maybe a wedding where the DJ was old enough to remember when ballads didn't need rap verses. Those were the last moments, the last years when this sound had a home on mainstream radio. And then hip-hop crashed the door, formats split, and everything changed. Number 8, Tasty Love, 1986. Tasty Love, 1986, number 1 R&B for multiple weeks. And this is where Freddie Jackson went from new artist to dominant force. You've heard it, that opening, those keyboards, that groove that's somehow sensual without being explicit. That's intentional. That's calculated. That's Paul Lawrence, Freddie's longtime producer and songwriting partner, understanding exactly what makes a slow jam work. But here's what's wild about Tasty Love. Would you wake me up about midnight and say, Freddie, come here, come here? It's not a ballad. It's mid-tempo. It's got movement. You can dance to this. Not grinding, not club dancing, but that smooth, grown folks two-step where you're close but controlled. You know what I'm talking about. If you were in your 20s in 1986, this song was at every single social event you attended. Black cookouts, family reunions, anybody's house party where the host spent more than $20 on the playlist. And if you're black and over 45, I guarantee you slow dance to this song at least once. Probably more than once. Probably more than you want to admit. Here's the thing about Freddie Jackson's run from 1985 to 1987. It wasn't just consistent, it was dominant. Rock Me Tonight went number 1. You Are My Lady went number 1. Tasty Love went number 1. Back to back to back. That doesn't happen by accident. That's an artist operating at peak creative and commercial power. And Tasty Love specifically captures something about mid-80s black romance that's hard to explain to people who weren't there. It's not desperate. It's not pleading. It's confident. It's assured. It's, I know you want this, without being arrogant. Radio stations rotated this song heavy for years. Not just 1986. not just 1987. Deep into the late 80s and early 90s, you could still catch Tasty Love on Quiet Storm programming. And then the format changed, and songs like this just stopped. Not because audiences stopped wanting them, because programmers decided they didn't fit the new direction. Number 7, Nice and Slow, 1988. Nice and Slow, 1988. Don't Let Love Slip Away album, another number 1, another 6-figure seller, another song that dominated R&B radio for months. You already know this one. That title tells you everything. Nice and Slow isn't subtle. It's not trying to be. This is late night music. This is dim the lights and lock the door music. This is what Quiet Storm was built for. And Freddie Jackson delivers it with precision. No vocal histrionics, no unnecessary runs, just controlled, intentional seduction through sound. That's mastery. That's what separates good singers from great ones. Knowing when restraint is more powerful than showing off. If you've ever tried to explain Quiet Storm radio to someone who didn't experience it, this is the song you play. This is the template. Slow tempo, lush production, romantic without being corny, sensual without being explicit, and a voice that doesn't demand attention. It earns it. Here's what gets me about Nice and Slow. It came out in 1988. By then, hip-hop was already crossing over. New Jack Swing was emerging. LL Cool J had Going Back to Cali. Public Enemy had Don't Believe the Hype. The sound of black music was getting faster, harder, more aggressive. And Freddie Jackson released Nice and Slow, not as a response, not as a counter, just as a continuation of what he'd always done. And it still went to number 1. That tells you something about what audiences actually wanted. Even as the industry was shifting toward harder sounds, there was still massive demand for this, still a hunger for ballads, still a market for romance. But you know what happened next. The early 90s arrived, urban radio split into mainstream and adult contemporary. Hip-hop took over the mainstream format. And balladeers like Freddie Jackson got pushed to adult contemporary stations with smaller audiences and less reach. And once that happened, songs like Nice and Slow didn't just get played less, they disappeared. When's the last time you heard this on the radio? 5 years ago? 10? Never? That's the story of this entire list. Number 6, Main Course, 1991. Main Course, 1991, Do Me Again album. And this is the last song on the list before everything changes. It didn't go number 1, peaked at number 2, but that's not the important part. The important part is the year, 1991. New Jack Swing was everywhere. Hip-hop was mainstream, pop radio had moved on, and R&B balladeers were being told their sound was outdated. But Main Course still became a hit. Still got radio play, still sold records. Why? Because the audience hadn't left. They were still there, still buying, still listening, still requesting. You know what Main Course sounds like? Like everything Freddie Jackson had been doing for 6 years. Mid-tempo groove, smooth vocals, production that doesn't try to compete with what's trendy, just solid, professional, grown folks, R&B, and for a minute that was enough. If only you knew that I would change. For a minute, there was still room for this sound on mainstream R&B radio, but it was the last minute. After 1991, the door closed. Here's what I didn't know until I started digging. By 1991, Quiet Storm programming was already being phased out at most urban stations. The format that made Freddie Jackson a star was dying, not because it wasn't popular, but because radio programmers decided younger audiences wanted something different.
I know that it sounds like a lie.
They were wrong, but they had the power. If you were still listening to R&B radio in 1991, you probably remember hearing Main Course and thinking everything was fine. The song was a hit. Freddie was still charting. Nothing seemed wrong. But behind the scenes, decisions were being made. Formats were splitting. Playlists were narrowing. And artists who didn't fit the new direction were being removed from rotation. Not gradually, abruptly. Main Course was the end of an era. The last moment when Freddie Jackson's sound still had a place on mainstream urban radio. After this, everything shifted, and the next 5 songs show you exactly what that shift erased. Number 5, Jam Tonight, 1986. Jam Tonight, 1986, number 1 R&B, his 3rd consecutive chart topper from Just Like the First Time. And this one's different from the ballads. This has energy, this has tempo, this is Uptempo Freddie Jackson, which people forget existed. When they think of him, they think slow jams, they think ballads, but Jam Tonight proves he could do more than Quiet Storm. You remember this one at parties. That transition moment when the DJ moved from straight up dance records to something smoother but still movable, that was Jam Tonight. That was the bridge. The song that kept people on the floor but shifted the energy. And here's what makes this culturally specific. Black parties in the 80s had a rhythm. Fast songs early, slow jams late, but between them there was this middle zone. Up-tempo R&B, songs with groove but not aggression. Jam Tonight lived in that zone. And it's not too hard to keep. Once you 3 number 1s from one album. Think about that. Just Like the First Time came out in 1986, and it gave us Tasty Love, Have You Ever Loved Somebody, and Jam Tonight, all number 1. All massive radio hits. All still in rotation 2-3 years later. That's rarefied air. Luther Vandross didn't do that in one album cycle. Neither did Anita Baker. Neither did most of the artists we remember from that era. But here's what happened. By the mid-90s, Jam Tonight disappeared from radio. Not gradually, suddenly. One day it's in rotation, the next it's gone. And when you ask programmers why, they'll tell you format changes. Demographics. Adult contemporary audience prefer ballads. Except that's code. What they mean is, we decided this sound is too old, too retro, too tied to an era we're moving past. And if you grew up with this song, if you have memories attached to it, if you remember exactly where you were the first time you heard it, that erasure feels personal, because it is. Number 4, Have You Ever Loved Somebody, 1986. Have You Ever Loved Somebody, 1986, number 1. And this is the song that defined Freddie Jackson's career. Not his biggest hit, not his highest charting pop crossover, but the one that captured everything he did best. Vulnerability without weakness, romance without desperation. A question so universal that anyone who's ever been in love knew exactly what he was asking.
Just trust me, I wanna show you something you never.
Have you ever loved somebody so much that losing them felt like losing part of yourself? If you have, this song didn't need explanation. It was confirmation, it was validation. It was someone putting words and melody to something you felt but couldn't express. And the production. Paul Lawrence understood something crucial. When a song is this emotionally direct, you don't overpower it, you support it. Those keyboards, that soft percussion, that's not background, that's architecture. That's the foundation that lets Freddie's voice do what it needs to do. Here's what I didn't know until recently.
I got something that I wanna say.
Have you ever loved somebody, stayed on the R&B charts for 20 weeks? 20, that's not a hit. That's a phenomenon. That's a song people kept requesting, kept buying, kept playing months after it peaked.
You look like you need somebody.
And if you were listening to R&B radio in 1986 and 1987, you probably got sick of it. You probably heard it 3-4 times a day. Wedding receptions, school dances, slow dance segments at skating rinks, everywhere. But you know what's wild? When I talk to people under 40 about Freddie Jackson, most of them have never heard this song. Never. Not once. Because by the time they started listening to R&B radio, it wasn't in rotation anymore. That's how complete the erasure was.
I can teach you how to love again.
A song that dominated for 20 weeks. That went number 1. That sold platinum. Just gone. And that's not Freddie Jackson's failure. That's the industry deciding an entire sound didn't matter anymore.
I'll be there.
Number 3, Hey Lover, 1988. Hey Lover, 1988, another number 1, another multi-week chart run. And by now, you're probably noticing a pattern. Freddie Jackson didn't just have hits, he had sustained hits. Songs that stayed relevant for months, not weeks. Hey Lover hit at an interesting moment. 1988, New Jack Swing was rising, Teddy Riley was revolutionizing production, Bobby Brown was crossing over, and the sound of R&B was getting harder, faster, more influenced by hip-hop. And Freddie Jackson released a ballad, a slow, intentional, no compromises ballad with lush keyboards and soft production and a vocal that never once tries to compete with what's trendy. And it went to number 1 anyway. That tells you something important. The audience hadn't moved yet. They still wanted this sound, still requested it, still bought it. The format change was coming, but it wasn't here yet. If you slow danced to Hey Lover at your wedding reception, you know exactly what this song sounds like. It's in your muscle memory. It's in your body sense of rhythm. You don't have to hear it to remember it, but here's what gets me. Hey Lover was a massive hit in 1988 and 1989. Dominated Quiet Storm programming, got requested constantly, and then disappeared by the mid-90s. Gone. When urban radio split into mainstream and adult contemporary, songs like this didn't migrate, they vanished. And I know some of you are thinking, well, that's just how music works. New songs replace old songs. And you're right.
Lady, you're my everything.
But this wasn't replacement, this was removal. Entire catalogs erased. Artists with 10, 15, 20 hits suddenly treated like they never existed. Freddie Jackson kept recording, kept releasing albums, kept touring. But mainstream radio stopped playing him. Not because audiences stopped caring, because programmers decided his sound wasn't commercially viable anymore. Except he's still touring today, still selling tickets, still has fans who show up. So who was right, the programmers or the people? Number 2, Rock Me Tonight for Old Time's Sake, 1985.
Do you have a little time to spend?
Rock Me Tonight, 1985. The song that started everything. 6 weeks at number 1 on the R&B charts. Platinum, instant classic. The debut single that made Freddie Jackson a star overnight.
So much has happened in my...
You know this one. Even if you don't remember the title, you know the opening, those keyboards, that groove, that voice coming in smooth, controlled, confident. Rock Me Tonight for Old Time's Sake. This wasn't just a hit. This was a statement.
You know I could. See, I really...
This was 29-year-old Freddie Jackson, after years of backup work and demo recordings and paying dues, finally getting his moment and delivering. Written by Paul Lawrence, produced by Paul Lawrence, built specifically for Freddie's voice. And it worked.
Somebody, come on, somebody want me.
Urban Contemporary Radio grabbed it immediately. Quiet Storm made it a staple. Wedding DJs added it to the rotation. And for months, if you were anywhere near an R&B radio station, you heard Rock Me Tonight multiple times a day.
Straight on at full speed. Hey, don't turn that thing on me like that.
6 weeks at number 1. That's not luck. That's dominance. And here's the thing about Rock Me Tonight that younger audience might not understand.
Yes, you do now.
In 1985, this sound was new. Quiet Storm had been around since the mid-70s, but it was evolving, getting slicker, more polished, more intentionally romantic rather than just slow.
Roll me tonight.
Luther Vandross had opened the door, but Freddie Jackson walked through it and claimed territory. His voice wasn't Luther's voice. Wasn't trying to be. It was smoother, more controlled, less gospel, more precision. And Rock Me Tonight established the template for his entire career. Mid-tempo to slow, lush production, romantic without being corny, seductive without being explicit. This is grown folks music. This is for people who've already been in love and lost it and are trying again. If you were in your 20s or 30s in 1985, this song is in your DNA. It's at parties you barely remember, relationships you try to forget, moments you wish you could recreate. That's what great R&B does. It doesn't just provide a soundtrack, it becomes part of your memory. But radio doesn't care about your memories. Radio cares about formats. And when formats change, everything else becomes expendable. Number 1, You Are My Lady, 1985. You Are My Lady, 1985. Number 1 R&B. Number 13, pop. Freddie Jackson's highest charting crossover hit, and the song that should have made him a household name beyond R&B audiences. This is the one, this is the song everyone knows. Even if they don't know Freddie Jackson's name, they know this song, that opening. There's something that I want to say, but words sometimes get in the way. Simple, direct, universal. That's what makes You Are My Lady work. It's not trying to be clever. It's not showing off. It's just honest, direct communication about love without games. And it crossed over. Number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100, that's mainstream success. That's playing on pop radio, not just R&B stations. That's reaching audiences who might not even know who Freddie Jackson is. But here's the tragedy. You Are My Lady should have launched him into superstar territory. Luther Vandross had crossover hits and became a household name. Anita Baker had Sweet Love and became mainstream. Freddie Jackson had You Are My Lady and remained R&B artist. Why? Part of it was marketing. Part of it was timing. Part of it was industry politics. But part of it was also this. Pop radio was getting wider in the mid-'80s. Crossover success for black artists required either undeniable mainstream appeal or active label push. Freddie got one hit on pop radio, and then the door closed. But on R&B radio, You Are My Lady dominated for months, stayed in rotation for years, became a wedding reception staple, a slow dance standard, a song that defined mid-'80s black romance. And here's what still gets me. You Are My Lady sold platinum, went number 1, crossed over to pop radio, received Grammy nominations, became one of the most recognizable R&B songs of the decade. And by the mid-'90s, radio had forgotten it existed. Not because it wasn't good, not because audiences stopped loving it, but because the format changed. Hip-hop took over urban radio. Adult contemporary stations narrowed their playlists to safe artists. And Freddie Jackson, despite 15 top 10 hits, despite 10 number ones, despite platinum albums, was deemed not commercially viable. That's how fast it happened. One format change, one programming decision, and an entire sound, an entire generation of artists just erased.